All right, again, working with the unit circle. This time we'll be trying to find the degrees using radians rather than degrees. So with our angle here of 30 degrees, we want to convert degrees to radians. Now, we learned during our lesson that 180 degrees and pi were the same value, or in other words, using our radius, measuring around the circle, we would measure it 3 and a little bit times. So 3 and a little bit radiuses is half of our circle, which is pi. So 30 degrees of our circle, 30 degrees compared to 180 degrees, and 180 degrees and pi are the same measurement. So we can put pi on top with the 30 and 180 degrees on the bottom because pi and 180 are the same measurement, which means that's really multiplying by 1. So when we reduce this, we get pi over 6. So your radian measure at 30 degrees is pi over 6. At 45 degrees, we would do the same thing. We'd have 45 pi over 180, which reduces to pi over 4. And we could do the same thing for all of them all the way around. So 60 degrees, so 60 pi over 180 reduces to pi thirds. Ninety pi over 180 reduces to pi halves. 120 pi over 180 reduces to 2 pi thirds. 135 reduces to 3 pi fourths. 150 is 5 pi sixths. Then we have pi. Now, our degrees on the bottom of the triangle, or the circle, we have 210, 225, 240, 270, 300, 315, and 330. So we could do the same thing by converting all of them using pi over 180. And this first one, we would get 7 pi over 6. We'd get 5 pi over 4 and 4 pi over 3. At 270, it's 3 pi over 2. At 300, it's 5 pi over 3. At 315, it's 7 pi over 4. At 330 degrees, it's 11 pi over 6. And at 360 degrees, it's 2 pi. So now we filled out the entire unit circle using radians instead of degrees, which means we could find the sine of pi sixths. So pi sixths is the same as 30 degrees. So here's our angle, pi sixths. And the exact value for that is the same as the sine value right here, which is 1/2. Cosine of pi sixths. So we draw the same angle, pi sixths. The cosine value is the x-coordinate, which is square root 3 over 2. Now, it's easy to draw these angles if you think of it as cutting the pi, or in other words, the half circle. If we took this half circle and we cut it into 4 pieces, 4 equal pieces, and we would go through one of them. So this right here, that one, would be this one single one here, would be our pi over 4 angle. So when it says 3 pi fourths, we could just go through 3 of the 4, and that would be our 3 pi fourths angle. So finding the exact value of sine of pi fourths. So sine of pi fourths is this one here. We would have root 2 over 2.